Hi everyone, Radhe Radhe. We've started with chapter 6, yay! So today we're going to do chapter 6 verse 1 in this video. And in here, chapter 6, so Prabhupada describes chapter 5 as Karma Yoga and chapter 6 is Jnaya Yog. What Swami Mukundanand says is that chapter 6 is more continuation of talking about karma sannyas, which Bhagwan Sri Krishna had mentioned in one of the verses earlier in, I don't know, chapter 4 or 5, but karma yoga versus karma sannyas, meaning doing work or renouncing work versus renouncing work. So doing work with the aim of giving the results of all of the work to God versus renouncing work. So karma yoga versus, and Prabhupada translates it as doing work in devotional service. So basically, yes, same thing, giving everything up to God, all the results of the work to God, giving the work to God, but doing the work, and then karma sannyas is not doing the work. So in chapter 6, he continues to explain the differences between karma yoga and karma sannyas. And earlier he did say that both of them are equal. Both, if a wise man sees both of them as equal, because Arjuna had asked, isn't karma sannyas better? Isn't renouncing better? And he had said that a wise man sees both of them as equal. So it'll get clearer now in this chapter, which is great. Okay, so let's sing the verse together. Shri Bhagavanuvacha Anashritah karma phalam karyam karma karoti yaha sasannyasi cha yogi cha na niragnir na chakriyah. Okay. The translation is the Supreme Personality of Godhead said, one who is unattached to the fruits of his work and who works as he is obligated in the renounced order of life, as he is obligated in the renounced, and he is a true mystic, not he who lights no fire and performs no duty. So basically, the one who is unattached to fruits of work and who works as he is obligated is actually a sannyasi. He is actually the renounced person. He is the true mystic, not he who lights no fire and performs no duty. So in the translation, he talks about when the sannyasis may think that they are free from material duties, but actually they want to become one with Brahman. So that doesn't actually make sense to me, because in bhakti we want to feel the love from God, and we want to feel bliss from God, and we want to become servants of God, but there is always a desire. So becoming one with Brahman is what they think, and so I don't see necessarily what's wrong with that, and that is self-interest or whatever. I mean, that's self-realization as far as I'm concerned, that particular aspect of I am very much more of a personalist thing, of course. A Krishna conscious person has no desire for self-satisfaction. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I guess eventually they don't. I mean, we want to be out of birth and death as well from this thing as well. We want to be out of the cycle of birth and death, and we want to, yeah. But okay, so Chaitanya Mahaprabhu actually says the perfect yogi is, I have no desire to accumulate wealth, nor to enjoy beautiful women or men, nor do I want any number of followers. What I want is the causeless mercy of your devotional service in my life, birth and after birth. So just give me service. But yeah, the desire is to feel the joy of love, right? Feel eternal bliss. That's at least my desire, is to feel eternal bliss. I don't want to be in this cycle of birth and death and this unreal thing. I want to feel eternal bliss by being in God's fold, or being at God's feet, or being in God's sharan, as they say in Hindi. Okay, so Swami Mukundanand explains it really beautifully. I love the way. Okay, so let's read his translation. The Supreme Lord said, those who perform prescribed duties without desiring the results of their actions are actually sannyasis. So those who do karma yoga without desiring results, which is karma yoga, are the actual sannyasis and yogis, not those who have merely ceased performing sacrifices of fire and abandoning bodily activities. So he explains here that those who enter the order of sannyas, that they are actually karm kand. So sannyasis are not supposed to touch fire, because when you touch fire you get into karm kand kind of mode, which means you do fruitive actions. Karm kand is exactly like, I'm doing this because I want fruits. of this. He explains Karm Kand in, I think, chapter 2, like after 38 or something. He talks about soul study, and then he talks about Karm Kand, I think, a little bit, if I'm remembering correctly. So, sannyasis should not touch fire at all, even for the purpose of cooking. They should just only subsist on alms. I didn't know that. Okay. So, that's the state of sannyasis, that they should only technically subsist on alms, like what they get from begging. It's called madhukari in Hindi. But what they get from going door to door and asking for food, and the society then is supposed to grihasthas, people who are married, people who are householders, that's their duty to give them this food so that they can subsist, they can live. So here Bhagwan Sri Krishna says very clearly that giving up sacrificial fire does not make one a sannyasi. Okay, so who are true yogis? So then there's questions. There are many different kinds of people who say that they are yogis. One might be a falahari, one who eats only fruits and nothing else. So they must be an elevated yogi. Or this Babaji is a dudhahari, only has milk, so they must be even higher yogi. Or this one is pavanhari, people who, you must have heard of breatharians, people who only live on breath and air. So they must be definitely God realized. This sadhu is a Naga Baba who does not wear clothes. They are there in India, and therefore they must be perfectly renounced. So therefore, Bhagwan Sri Krishna dismisses all of this. He says such external acts of asceticism do not make a sannyasi or a yogi. Those who can renounce the fruits of their action by offering them to God, those are true renunciates and yogis. So the current yoga that we understand is not really, that doesn't even exist in that this yoga does not even exist in Sanskrit scriptures. The actual word is yog, which means union of the individual consciousness with the divine consciousness. In other words, a yogi is one whose mind is fully absorbed in God, and it follows that a yogi's mind is naturally detached from the world. Therefore, that person is the true sannyasi. So those people who perform Karma Yoga in humble spirit without any desire for rewards, even though they may be grihasthas and living in a family, these people are true yogis and real renunciants. I think I didn't do the word by word, so let me do that very quickly. Sri Bhagavanu Vacha, God said, Anashritaha karma phalam. So without taking shelter, ashrita is shelter. So you add a to make it not. So without taking shelter, karma phalam, result of the work. Karyam, obligatory, karma karoti, performs work. Karma perform works. One who, yeah. So one who performs work without taking shelter of the result of the work. Sa sannyasi cha yogi cha, that person is a sannyasi in the renounced order. Also, that person is a sannyasi as well as a mystic, as well as a yogi. That person is a sannyasi as well as a yogi. Not na niragnir na chakriyah. Not the one without fire or also without duty. Akriya. So, fire is Agni, Norcha also, like these are no, yeah. So not the person who lights no fire. So the sannyasi is the one who lights no fire, basically. So he's saying not the one who is renounced like the sannyasi. He's referring to sannyasi, who is the person. I mean, technically, he's saying this karma yoga person is a sannyasi here, but he's saying the person who's technically supposed to be the sannyasi who lights no fire, which Swami Mukundanand has explained so well. That is the person who does not even light fire for cooking, only subsists on alms. So, yeah, that person is not the true sannyasi or a true sannyasi or true yogi. And he's calling yogi as mystic, and here he's calling yogi as yogi. Yeah. And sannyasi is renounced order. Okay. So that's it for this verse. We shall do chapter 6, verse 2 in the next video. Wish you a day filled with spiritual growth. Radhe Radhe.